Hey everybody, welcome back to the Monday Q&A show here in Airsoftology, the show that answers your questions, helps you out in a pinch, and is always here to help guide you through the world of Airsoft in the best way I possibly can. And this show is about you. Don't forget, it is your questions, your comments that are taken from the comment box below, the comment area, and I will try to answer those every single week. I get about 3, 4, 5 answered every single week. Be persistent if you don't get yours answered today. I will do my best to get the best. But anyway, welcome to the show. I got a couple things going on really quick before we get in there. First off, if you guys want to support the show, the best way is through patches. I've got a web store links here in the corner. Got some cool ones, custom art tactical corgis here, and like a Make Yourself Great Again patch and some other stuff on the way. Hopefully in about a week or two, you're gonna see the channel store change quite a bit. I got a pre-order coming up soon as well, so stay tuned on that one. Also, I want to tell you guys too, if you guys don't know, I will be at Airsoft Con in California at EVIC, and I will be there on October the, was it 18th I land, and it's the 20th is the event. That's Saturday, October 20th, all day. Come out, hang out. I think the night before we might be doing a game. I'm not sure if it's private or where it's gonna be, but I know I'll be hanging out also and visiting a few people there. They're gonna be doing the camp out thing overnight, but I'll be there all day Saturday as well. So I'd love to see if you're in the SoCal area, come to EVIC. I'll be there. I've got like a panel and stuff, but I'm gonna be walking around filming, and I'll be more than happy to hang out, chill, answer questions, do whatever. That's what I'm here for. I just love to meet you guys anyway. So enough of that. Let's dive on into what you're really here for, and that's your questions in the Tippmann mail call. Connor Parks leads off with, how would I keep my AEG from getting wet during a MilSim game? Should I bring a plastic bag to wrap it? What do you do? All right, so during a MilSim game when it rains, I just let my gun get wet. I make sure the battery connector's taped off, usually, not always. I mean, if it's in the buffer tube or in the stock, I don't bother. If it's like taped to the outside of my gun because I've got to use like a crazy battery or something, then yeah, I'm gonna tape the connector up. But for me, just make sure the battery, and if you have like a MOSFET, it's at least shrunk wrap or something and out of the rain. Aside from that, I think you're okay. If the MOSFET's like in the gun, you should be fine. I mean, you're not gonna dunk this thing underwater. It's rain. Now, you wanna dry it off when you're done, get it as dry as possible, and keep the water out of the barrel if you can, because you don't want it getting down in there and messing up. It'll kind of affect your hop up and your baby's trajectory a little bit and things like that. Also, dirt and mud and rain in your magazines isn't good, but you're putting those upside down in your mag pouches anyway. So for me, it's not a concern, typically, even for a long event. I just make sure to dry it off when I break or when I go in for the night, and dry it off really good. Don't just put it wet back in your bag. You can have some rusting of the steel parts on there and oxidation of some other parts, things like that around your mech box shell. You just don't want to do that. But chances are it's not going to get wet on the inside unless you take a dive and the thing gets submerged. Even then, I've had some of my guns go underwater, not with LiPo batteries, but with like nickel metal hydride, and still had no problem using them. Of course, I did take them apart and dry them out afterwards, but still no problem at all. So anyway, that's my advice. Don't stress over it, really. It shouldn't be any problem at all. If you get it wet due to rain, no biggie. Zamboni53 writes, anyone heard that WE are making a Gen 5 G17, G19, and the G19X? Who's excited? You know who's most excited about this? Glock's attorneys, because they're not licensed. So WE's actually going rogue on this one and making unlicensed counterfeit versions of the Glocks. That's the Gen 5s. I saw them on their Facebook post. I would not, if I was a retailer, be carrying these. Glock is very aggressive at protecting their intellectual property, especially these actually have the Glock trademarks on it. And I can tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, with full certainty, that these are not licensed by Glock or Umarex, who is the license holder for most of the world, nor Cybergun, from what I know. I haven't heard back from Cybergun this, so I wanted to confirm before I talk to you guys. No official news, but I don't believe that we're seeing one from Cybergun, just from what I do know about the system. I don't think these are Cybergun ones that are licensed for France, which is where they're allowed to sell for retail, or worldwide for the military world. I do know Glock and WE don't really have a very good history together because of WE's counterfeiting the Glocks using the Glock trademarks. I don't see those two companies partnering ever. unless something magical changes in this industry. And I think that's where the bridge was burned before working with WE. So keep in mind, these are going to be counterfeit products. If you live anywhere where the licensed Glock is sold, you will not be able to get these. If you do, you're going to be taking a huge risk in bringing them in. That is just it. Doesn't matter how great they are. Now, I will say this, I am probably sure that we're going to see officially licensed versions of all the good Glock models out there. I think they're going to be coming. I'm sure the 19X is in the pipeline somewhere. I'm sure Gen 5, since they were just announced, are probably somewhere in the pipeline from Glock themselves through their proper licensing channels through Umarex, no matter who's going to be making it for them. Umarex is now using 2 or 3 different vendors for their Glocks, depending on the tier, if it's the CO2, the partial blowback, the full blowback green gas / CO2 version, or if like their non-blowback version. I think they're using 3 different vendors, one for each tier. Anyway, but as far as I know, it is not going to be WE. So just guys, buyer beware, heads up. I mean, I know you're going, but Jonathan, I want these, and how can you say that? Because everybody has that. And Jonathan, you owned a Marui Glock. You still have a Marui Glock, and yes, I do. I got it long before the licensed one ever came out, and I wanted to get an agency slide for it, and that's what I do have, the official licensed agency slide. So I just bought it for the lower frame. I do absolutely have one, but again, I acquired that pre-official licensed Glock. I got the one from Marui in Tokyo. Japan, there is no licensing, so it's unfortunately good to have there, but obviously if you have it outside the country, it's not. I'm not justifying my actions, but I will tell you right now, I will not, and definitely will not make any purchases of unlicensed products. I want to support the airsoft companies that are supporting the players back. It's just me, honestly. Really, that's it. Everybody's different. You guys have your own opinions on this. I'm sure you do. But keep in mind that these, as excited as you might be about them, are not going to be approved by Glock. So we don't know if the spec's right. You don't know if it's going to fit into holsters. You don't know what's going on. You're going to get WE quality, which is going to be a copy of the Marui system. I know it's mixed results for people. I would just personally say, my personal opinion is I'm not going to purchase it, and I would probably recommend you not, but I mean, it's your money to buy it, you know what? But if you live anywhere other than here in Taiwan, or probably Asia market, you know, like maybe Hong Kong or something like that, you're probably not going to see them. In fact, I can almost guarantee you're not going to see them. And if you do see them, that shop will probably get a nice big nasty letter from Glock if you do see them. So yeah, just buyer beware on that, and just heads up, I'm sure the new ones are probably going to be coming officially licensed sooner than later. Dill Pickle writes, "Hey Jonathan, so I have a lot of fun playing at my local field, but almost every firefight turns into a verbal altercation and cheater accusations. This kind of behavior appears to be growing rampantly throughout the airsoft community as a whole, and I was wondering, what are your thoughts on a possible solution might be?" All right, I've seen this, and I dug in the comments below this one. This is from last week. Yeah, as you know, I do pull the questions from last week. And a lot of the questions, first one was like, oh, it's probably a bunch of young kids. And the original poster, OP Dill Pickle, came in and said, no, actually, it's the older players. And I've seen this too. Typically, it's a mix. It's a mix. New players, it is an education opportunity. They might not be calling their hits. They might say cheater. They might be used to video games where if you put your crosshairs on a target, no matter how far away it is, and you click the fire button, the mouse or the button on your Xbox or PlayStation, boom, you hit your target, right? They probably don't understand the real world and how airsoft works, and sometimes the BB doesn't, hop up set right. There's a lot of variables, right? The wind and how slow the BB travels compared to a bullet in a video game. So yeah, I think with the new players, it's simply an education opportunity. If you run into that, hey, get a ref, let's talk, hey, this is what's going on. Maybe you shouldn't do that. Don't ever call someone else out. I'm a big thing. You always hear me say at the end of my videos, call your freaking hits. Well, it means call your hits. Don't call someone else's. I've done it before. I don't do it now, but you get angry and you see the BBs bouncing off them through your scope and you're like, and you get mad. Everyone does it, or most everyone does it. Mea culpa, I've done it too, but I really try very hard not to. It's frustrating, so now I live, I learn, I've been playing airsoft for a long time. Take it to the ref staff. That's their job. Take it to the ref, let them manage that problem, make them aware of it. If it's a young player, like I said, education. If it's these older players, I've seen this. It's ego. Sometimes it's that competitive spirit. Sometimes it's just someone who's a jerk and you can't fix it. And then the problem there lies on the field owner or the ref staff to manage that. And if this is a continual, habitual person who is constantly doing this, it's the field's fault. I will tell you right now, it's sad to say, but it's your field's fault for not managing that player. If it is always the same person causing the problem, and I've been to fields, my home field have had this like, oh my God, he's here. I can't, oh great, here goes the day. He showed up, right? And you just know who it is, right? You know that person. It is absolutely the field owner's fault. Think of all the people they've turned away. That person has made angry or upset and they've never come back. That a field owner is going to get hurt in their pocketbook, in their wallet. They're not going to make the money, and then your field's not going to be as good. The field owner has to step up. They have to look past, I might lose a player. Give them corrective opportunities, give them the option to change, the opportunity to improve. But if you still continue doing that and you still have the same problem, you've got a problem child. They need to go. And by problem child, I mean problem man child, someone who's like my age, right? Sometimes I've seen the worst offenders are the older players. Not me, I'm pretty good these days, but the worst ones can be the older players, really, because you have less of an opportunity for a re-education to stick. I just hate to say it, you're old and you're kind of stuck in your ways. Hey, from experience, guys, right? So anyway, that's my thought on this. I know it's a little long, but Dill Pickle, man, go to your staff, go to your field, bring everyone you can and let them know that, hey, we got to fix this problem. Can you address it? And then if it doesn't get addressed, let them know you're going to vote with your wallet, unfortunately. And maybe when that field owner loses a bunch of players and doesn't have that money, he might reconsider and say, you know what, that guy might be the problem. So just my thought, vote with your wallet. There's always a choice. I know sometimes it's kind of hard to do that, but good luck, man. But before you go to that level, have that conversation. You and everyone else who's experienced this bad problem with this one or a couple players, have the conversation with your field ownership. I think you might, if you go as a group and you bring it intelligently. I mean, you're writing a great question here. I think you're going to be pretty good at delivering the proper response to him. I think you can do it the right way. So good luck, and I want to hear what comes of this. I hope it's positive. I have a feeling with the way you wrote the question, you should have a pretty positive result if your field owner has an open mind. All right, guys and gals, that is it for questions this week, which means it is time for the Code Red Headsets video recommendation of the week. And this one comes from, yes, I am sorry, it has taken forever. In fact, I even had another one I promised somebody, a good friend of mine, I would do this week, and I kicked it for you. For you, man. I knew I've been talking to you for a while. This is TheGuardianWolf Echo, and this is the Lone Wolf Airsoft. These guys are out of Nashville, Tennessee, my hometown. Unfortunately, not my home field, Nashville Airsoft. I've never played there. My buddy, my good friend, who owns Nashville Airsoft. I was where I got my airsoft start, where the podcast began. Josh, the owner, owns this field, and he's still been doing it all these years later. Yeah, it's a long time, guys and gals. And I have to highlight this channel just because it is really my spiritual home field. My home actual field is Bad Karma Airsoft before Nashville Airsoft ever had an indoor. We only had a couple outdoor options there in Nashville. And when I am back in town, I'm absolutely going to go by and play. I owe some time. I've hung out there. I've been there. But I want to get some playtime in at Nashville Airsoft. It is a great field. It has lots of great players. It's doing fantastic. It's in a great location. It's actually quite big. It's almost in the middle of downtown. It's really good. But anyway, enough about the field. Let's talk about the channel here. It's TheGuardianWolf Echo. It's Lone Wolf Airsoft. These guys are kind of a SpeedSoft, SpeedQB style play group there in the thing. Typical SpeedQB videos, we're looking at some kind of like a little modern music, little trap, little hip hop, whatever like that. Fast gameplay shooting. In fact, in this video, pretty sure, I don't know if he was, I think it's a good shot. It looks like he maybe caught like a guy running too fast and didn't call his hits on there, but he cleaned it up, and I noticed what I really loved about this. He got some shots off from this guy as he's running across, and it looks in the video like he did it. You never hear him say, oh, I got you, or oh, whatever. You can even see the player kind of flinch a little bit, and all he did was just readjust, wait for him to get there. He got a kill on another guy, and then he took a couple more shots and took that player out, and didn't cause any problems. So this kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Good gameplay. Yes, SpeedSoft, sometimes you go, oh man, these guys are SpeedSofters and they're just like 50,000 BBs a second and all that. But this is a great example. That one moment I saw in the video was a great example of very good gameplay. So I wanted to share this video, if not for anything else for that, but also it's my hometown and a home team there that plays at the field. And plus I've owed this guy for weeks. I think, what'd you say, like 13 weeks now? I think. Oh, it's embarrassing. It's been that long. But anyway, your time's due. So guys and gals, if you like the channel, go over, check it out. I've got a link in the corner, link in the description box below. And if you like what you see, mash the sub button and let them know I sent you. Well, that's it. As always, every single week we're here. Don't forget, Airsoft Con's coming up, and I got the patches in the web store. I'll have a link here at the very end of the video. It should be like kind of over here in the corner, I think. It's one of these corners. I forget which one it pops up in. And then I will see you guys in Southern California, and then back here. I've got a couple weeks in the United States, then back to Taiwan, and back to the Airsoft goodness. Also hit the sub button, like I said, here, so you can get up to date on all the reviews. I've got a ton of reviews dropping, including I did an air rifle video. That's right, air rifle, not air gun, airsoft, air rifle, 50 cal, a little experience I had when I was at Umarex USA a handful of months ago. I wanted to share it with you because it's super cool. It's 50 cal. That's last week's video, or it was actually the most recent video. Just make sure you subscribe and you'll see it on the channel. Anyway, until next week, go out, play some airsoft, have some fun, put your comments in the questions in the comment section below, and also recommend your videos.